cover. So just briefly tell us what your company is about or what your business is about. You can unmute or you can post in chat. Martha, I see more people joining in. Shall be starting briefly. Please just mention what your business does. Martha, what do you do? Or where do you work? Stephen. Yes, Emmanuel, I'm unmuted, but can't hear you properly.
What about now?
Yeah, now we can.
No, uninsured.
That's the Super Saiyan. Or you could just call this a Super Saiyan 2. To go even further beyond!
So saying
Yeah.
this. Anyway, I think I'll just what I do. I'm unsure, but who has come up with a YouTube channel that tries to train people on how they can mitigate risks in their businesses, in their welfare. And I'll just share a link. The page is called Actuary's Promise with Safali. So the people tune in. Most importantly, like most urgently, what has changed in the is the compulsory people who are especially the business of importing or exporting. We are encouraging all of you to start using the local insurers, and I've done a session on that, which I'll share a link in the chat room. I hope. Otherwise, I wish all of you a Merry Christmas.
All right. Thank you, Emmanuel. Please share the link in the chat as you had mentioned. Which also make sure at our end that we are keeping the hackers away. Anybody else want to tell us about their business? Is in forwarding. You can post in chat. About your business and what you do. You can also put your contact in the chat so that other members can pick it in case they're interested in getting in touch with you. You can also unmute and just let us know about what your business does or where you're working. Okay. So Emmanuel, you posted in chat is compulsory marine and goods in transit insurance. Okay. So this is his channel where you can just read about insurance for goods in transit. Just everybody, welcome. Especially people are just joining us. Speaker will be joining us shortly. Rachel, welcome. Brian, Godfrey, John. Please do tell us what you do. Do put in chat. Or you can unmute and briefly tell us what you're doing. What business are you doing or where are you working? What does your company do? Emmanuel was kind enough to let us know about marine insurance, something that I actually did not know existed, but now seems quite logical. Emmanuel, as the marine clearing and forwarding has begun picking up in the last few months?
Actually, Abid, that's a version. Now, the reason, the rationale, actually, of course, clearing and forwarding has been going on for quite some time. But the reason, the rationale that actually the IRA plus URA realized that many importers utilize the foreign insurers, to bring in their goods. And many times they are even duped from the suppliers that, you have to get insurance whenever you're exporting. Imagine you have made a consignment, you have made an order, say from China or from Dubai, of worth $100,000 US or $10,000 US, no matter, even though it is groupage. Then they tell you, we're going to offer you also insurance, because for the cost that you are charged is what you call CIF, cost, insurance, and freight. And many times they just they tell them that they charge them for that, but the insurance element that is usually shown to them only stops at the port of destination, which in most cases is Mombasa or Dar es Salaam. So imagine you have paid some insurance to the foreign insurer, but you're only covered up to Mombasa. Beyond Mombasa to Kampala or to your warehouse, wherever you are located as a business, whether in Entebbe or Busia, you are not covered. Yet, if you use a local insurer, which now URA is also trying to ascertain that you are utilizing a local insurer here, you will be covered up to your warehouse, not just up to the port of origin or destination. So this is something that has been happening, but it's only that we want to facilitate and get better services for all our exporters and importers. I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Yeah, that actually makes more sense. Has there been an increase in the people who are now trading and moving things back and forth in the economy, especially with the imports, at least in your observation?
In my observation, I've seen that, okay, this is a policy that has been effected as of 1st of October, but they're still, it's still on optional basis. But from 1st of January, it's going to be a must. For every declaration, every pro forma invoice, every bill of landing, you must, and there's actually now a portal. We call it the Uganda Insurance Association portal. Put details of your bill of landing or pro forma invoices, and then we compute for you. In fact, they are kind of discounted rates, and we believe it's going to pick up. But what I'm observing is like people want to be compelled, so they have to be enforced to do this. Yet I thought it's better for people to first of all be educated about the reasons why this policy was made, and for them to start embracing the local insurers whenever they are being facilitated for their trade purposes. So the numbers, is too early to comment about the numbers. Possibly the better impact will be seen next quarter. As per now, it is still on a pilot project. Thank you.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Yes, Rachel. Morning, Rachel.
Good morning to you.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, we can hear you.
This is Rachel Nadjika from Mukono and Such Innovations Uganda. I'm glad to be part of you because these sessions always raise up our businesses. I deal with mushroom value chain, which consists of spawn production, that is the seed, if I may say. Then we look at the culture formation and growing of mushrooms, then have the dried mushrooms, also add value on the dried mushrooms, that is to make the mushroom soups in powder form and also the real powder of mushrooms. Right now, I'm glad that Enterprise Uganda has given us this opportunity to pass through such sessions that really make a change in our businesses. Our business was so small, but due to this lockdown and the heat of COVID-19, we are resuming our businesses very well, hopefully by January 2022, regarding all these sessions that we've obtained from Enterprise Uganda. So thank you for everything, and I'm glad to be part of this session.
Thank you, Rachel. With the economy expected to fully reopen in January, what are the things you have faced? What are the hardships that you have faced and are hoping are going to reduce when the... What was the impact of the COVID lockdown on your business? Did your customers reduce?
Sincerely, it was capital that reduced so much because most of the things we are just demanded online. So we could tell our suppliers to supply us, but we were hit with a poor quality supplier of the raw material. So given that fact that it was too much, we had nothing to do because they had already taken the money and no movement, no transport to go to that side. So from Mukono to Kasese, you couldn't imagine even passing through Kampala. So that is how we were hit so much. And in that trend, that means we had to go back on board, reset all the challenges that we've faced, during the lockdown, then continue. And right now we've been trying our level best to see that we are going to look at having the production-based rate. So with that, I see that our products are going to be on market, given that the challenges were even so many. Looking at the standards, we are in a way of resuming business with good quality standards and also production.
Okay, that is all right. Yeah, I can see how the supply could be disrupted, especially when there's restrictions of movement in between districts. Yes, that made transport become more expensive and harder to do. And this is something that we have to plan for and see how you're going to do so in the economy. Okay, thank you very much, Rachel, for that. Our speaker has joined. Martha just posted in chat about her business. She's running a company called the Cake Home Uganda. She's even advertising people. Take advantage to advertise. They're having an ongoing promo and they're providing rich fruit cake. So please reach out to her. It's only 150K. Her numbers are there in chat. Thank you very much, Martha. Our guest has joined us. Emmanuel, welcome. He's still joining via audio. Okay. Yeah, it's connecting to audio. So does anybody also want to just mention just what they do briefly before we begin? Before the speaker begins? Welcome, Grace, Immaculate, Simon Peter, Savonia.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, Emmanuel. Welcome.
You have blocked my video as well.
You should be able to share your video. Just check.
Screen.
Emmanuel, you're now a co-host.
Okay.
You should be able to share your video.
All right. Okay, then. That's why I don't need a video now. Let's go straight to the point.
All right,
Yeah?
you can see your screen.
Okay. All right. So you can start and then we can go straight to the point so that we can, you know.
Yeah, we're ready for you. Speaker today is Emmanuel Dei Tumi. Hope that's the right spelling of your name.
That's okay. That's okay. All right. So guys, my apologies for the internet. You know, it's been back and forth, but thank God we are here. If you can see my screen, please confirm for me.
Yeah, we can see your screen. But it seems to be on the last slide of questions. Emmanuel? Right. We cannot hear you.
Okay, I was asking if my screen is visible. Is it visible now?
Yeah, your screen is now visible.
Okay. All right. So again, my apologies for the internet, challenges. This is something beyond my personal control. In our office, we use 2 different internet providers, and none of them has been up to the task this morning. But of course, these are technological challenges, so there's not much we can do about it until we pray for God to give us our own internet that we have created in Africa. All right, so let's share a word of prayer. Father, we want to thank you so much for this beautiful day. Thank you for the opportunity to interact with your people, your men and women that you have destined to create wealth and to create employment in this nation, Uganda, and beyond. We ask that this session, of God, Father, will bring All right, guys, we're going to have to deal with this internet thing. I don't know how it's going to work, but it keeps going back and forth. But whatever happens, we'll see how much we can get out of this. So today we are looking at how to start. The topic that was given to me is starting strong in 2022, and I have modified the topic a little bit to make it read how to start 2022 with a winning strategy in spite of the odds against us or against you, since I'm talking to you as businesses and as individuals. Now, anybody who has been in business for the last 3 years in this country or in Africa, or for that matter, in the whole world, would appreciate the fact that the COVID-19 has had tremendous impact on our businesses. For those who are doing genuine businesses, you would have felt the pinch of COVID-19. As you know, you probably know 1 or 2 people who have been in business for a while, but because of COVID today, they are no more. I know personally entrepreneurs who are now employees of other bigger corporations because COVID-19 has taken them out. But as we prepare for 2022, it is important for us to do what we call self-reflection and introspection so that we can strategize and know how best we can move towards 2022. I'm very much aware of the time that have been used in terms of the delay, but I'll try as much as possible to catch up, and then we open the floor for discussions as much as possible. So let's begin by looking at my objective. I want to share a few ideas on how to develop the right attitude for a successful enterprise in 2022 and beyond. That's going to be the focus of our discussion. How do we develop the right attitude for a successful enterprise, for a successful business in 2022 and beyond? And I want to begin by asking us to look at a relationship between real life and what we call enterprise or business. Is there any relationship between life and business? Because if we are going to prepare for 2022, it's important for us to put this whole thing in context, for us to appreciate the fact that it takes an entrepreneur to run a business. We've never seen angels coming onto the planet Earth to say we're going to become businessmen. So it's human beings that run businesses. And if it's human beings that run businesses, then automatically there should be a correlation between what life is entirely about and what business is all about. So I want us, as we prepare for 2022, to put this whole discussion in context so that we can understand what is it that and how we can prepare with a winning strategy for 2022. So let me ask the question. Is there any relationship between real life and business? And please, you can unmute yourself and give me your response. Because of time, I don't want us to go into any practical sessions and all of that. So please unmute yourself and share with me, what do you consider to be the relationship, if there is any relationship between real life and business? Please unmute yourself, mention your name and possibly what you do, and then answer the question for us. Host, I hope, my co-host, I hope you would allow people to unmute themselves so they can share their thoughts.
Yes.
All right,
yeah,
so
people
please.
can unmute.
All right.
You can also post in chat.
Yeah, please unmute yourself. Okay, you have to support with the chat because I won't be able to do that at the same time. So please unmute yourself and share with us what you think. Yeah. What you think, whether there's a relationship between real life and business.
Yes, hello.
Yeah,
I'm Brian Pono, and I am an electrician and at the same time an entrepreneur under Enterprise Hub. There's a relationship between real life and business because basically it can also depend on personalities or temperaments of people. But the lifestyle of a person really has impact on a business, because if the person has no, let me say, integrity within their personality, with how they handle their life matters. Most of the times it plays out in businesses in different arenas, and how a particular business relates to another business, because a business deals with persons involved, and you're dealing with clients. So if you had a bad day, let me say you woke up in the morning and you have things that are on your mind, then you go to work, definitely there will not be productivity because your mind will be caught up in another environment, and you're in another environment. So delivery of service or delivery of a product will not be so much effective as when you are personally whole and sound, as well as because business are actually intertwined, because you can't talk about business without talking about people. So in my view, there's an interlinked relationship between the two.
Wonderful. What's your name again?
Brian Ipono.
Okay. So as our brother have said, he believes that there's a relationship between real life and business, and he's giving us a very important description as to why he thinks so. Is there any other person so that we can move on? Unfortunately, because of the internet stuff, we don't have time, but please, let's take one or two and then we can move on. What do you consider to be the relationship? First of all, do you believe there's a relationship between real life and business? And if you do, what is the relationship between real life and business, please? Anybody else? Anybody else? Oh, come on, unmute yourself and share your thoughts with us, please. Unmute yourself.
People seem to be shy this morning.
No. You can't be a shy person as an entrepreneur. Yes, please go ahead. Unmute yourself and share your thoughts.
Hi.
Immaculate, please go ahead.
Yes.
Immaculate, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Immaculate Nasuna, and I'm a business and mental health coach. So, relationship between real life and business. Real life, I would say, it has its challenges as well as business. I would say, for example, in real life, maybe in regards to family, in business, in regards to customers, they come with their wants, they come with their needs. And that's why it's very hard for us to separate real life or personal life with business. They always find a way of entangling with each other. So there is actually a big relationship between real life and business. There are small differences, that is to me.
Okay, wonderful. That's Immaculate, right? Is that Immaculate?
Yes, that's Immaculate.
Yes, Immaculate.
Okay, wonderful. All right, guys, because of time, let's move on. Now, you would come to appreciate, just like how the two discussants have pointed out, there's a real relationship between life and business. Number one, for example, if you are going to start a business, it just same as if you are going to start life. And so the question that we must ask ourselves is, if indeed there's a relationship between real life and business, the question is, what is life? And when you begin to talk about life, you come to appreciate that life is a journey. Now, I want you to stay with me. Life is a journey. Now, we are going to prepare for 2022. Because we don't know what is going to happen in 2022 yet, we can say that going into 2022 is a journey. Now, if we had enough time, I was going to ask us to go on the Jamboard and then share a few thoughts, but because we don't have time, let me just go straight and share these aspects with you. Now, if I want to begin a journey, ladies and gentlemen, let's say I'm in Kampala and I want to go to Masaka, or I want to go to Gulu, or I want to go to Mbarara. That becomes my focus. So clearly, if I pick my bag from home and my family asks me, where are you going? And I don't have a clear destination in mind, then it presupposes that obviously my journey is not going to be palatable, because you cannot start a journey without a clear destination in mind. Or I pick up my passport and I head to the airport. I get to the airport and they ask me, where are you heading towards? And I tell them, I don't know. They are going to call two people, either the police or the doctors, the psychiatric doctors, because it takes an insane person to pick up his or her passport and drive all the way to the airport, and then he doesn't know where she or he is going. In the same way, ladies and gentlemen, if we are going to move into 2022 as entrepreneurs, the first thing we must ask ourselves is, where are we heading towards? What kind of destination have we painted in our minds as far as our businesses are concerned? And we are doing this at a important time because, ladies and gentlemen, 2021 has been a very, 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 very difficult year for many entrepreneurs. Of course, those in ICT, those in fintech and all that, this is their booming year. They have escalated profitably, which is okay. But for those in certain businesses like tourism, like hospitality, like restaurant, and all of that, travel and tour and all of that, it's become very, very difficult, even for those who are into fashion and all of that. When people don't have money to survive, they don't buy clothes. When people don't have money to survive, they don't buy certain beautifying items. Listen, gentlemen, so if we are going to move into 2022, one of the very fundamental questions we must ask ourselves is, where have we come from? Where are we right now? And where do we want to head towards? It becomes a journey. And it's very, very important, because if we get to the car park, the taxi park, and then we don't know which car, which taxi, which vehicle we have to jump on board, chances are that we would have missed our destination. Because if I'm going to Masaka and I'm going to jump onto a vehicle that is heading towards somewhere else, I will have Masaka in mind, but I would not have jumped into the right bus. So a life and business are synonymous, ladies and gentlemen, and this is very, very important, extremely important. Now, question I want to ask is, because we have a destination we want to go to and we have something in mind, it presupposes that we want to become successful, we want to achieve certain goals, we want to achieve certain fundamental targets and goals in 2022. The question is, how does success look for you? When the issue of success comes to mind, how does it look for you? How do you see it? Okay. Now you come to realize that every one of us has his own definition of success. We have told ourselves we want to get to a certain destination. Some of us have made plans for 2022. The question is, why have you made those plans? You have made those plans because by December 2022, like now, you want to look back and say, oh yes, I've achieved A, B, C, and D. And for that matter, I am successful. Now, you come to also realize that the way we define success differs. Somebody defines success this way because he might have bought a car. Somebody's success is when he has a lot of money in a bank account. Somebody's success is to have built a house. Somebody also to have a large family. So we have different definitions of success. The point we must bear in mind is that the way you define success shapes the steps you are going to take in 2022. How far you are going to be able to go in 2022, ladies and gentlemen, would begin by your definition of what success means to you. That means you must begin now to understand what success will look like for you by December 2022. And this is very, very important. If you don't understand it, if you don't give a clarity, if you don't have a clear image in your mind as to what success must look like for me, as far as my business is concerned, chances are that you are going to look at somebody and try to be like that particular individual. But remember, I said, we all define success differently. Everybody has his or her own definition of success. For somebody, once he has a family, he's successful. For another person, once he has got his Range Rover, he's successful. Another person is looking at having a lot of money stuck in the bank. He's successful. Somebody also wants to build a house. He's successful. Somebody wants to have a degree. He's successful. So what is your definition of success? That is what is going to shape your life, ladies and gentlemen. And it's important that we understand it that way. The second point I want us to understand when we are planning for 2022 in the context of what we think success must look for us is that success is not always what you see it to be. And I decided to give you this picture for you to understand that sometimes in the pursuit of your business, you want to make, let's say, 20 billion Ugandan shillings maybe by end of May. But by end of May, you would only have made maybe just about 10 billion. Are you successful? No, because you wanted to make 20, you may say that you're not successful. But look at this. Maybe certain things you have done that are beneath the surface of your planning that are going to, going to give you results in the following months. Please don't be discouraged, because the fact that you wanted to make 20 billion and you have only made 10 billion by May doesn't mean that the 10 billion will never come. It will come, except that perhaps whatever you are doing would gain roots, and it will take some time before the flowers are going to be seen. So please don't be discouraged when you start off, even for 2021. For those of you who have survived it up to today, you will come to appreciate the fact that there are certain resilience, there are certain attitudes, there are certain skills and competencies you have developed as a result of the losses that you made in 2021 that are going to pay off in 2022. So your definition of success, listen, gentlemen, must help you shape your perspective, your prime, and your 2022, so that you don't easily give up when things appear as if they are not looking the way you want them to look like. This is very, very important, because success is not always what you see. Sometimes what you see is only a tip of the bigger picture that is coming your way. And that's very, very important. So I want to share with you in a short period that we have 7 principles, or what I call 7 insights about how to begin strong in 2022. This is the focus of my discussion this morning. And I'm going to, because of time, I'm going to rush through it, but thankfully it's being recorded, and I'm sure you can go back to the platform of Enterprise Uganda and then begin to go through it and take your time and understand. I'm going to share some very deeper things, principles and insights with you that will help you, that have helped me for the last 20, almost 30 years in my business. All right. The first I want us to look at is that if we are going to become successful in 2022, it is going to be extremely important for us to have a vision or a dream, and not only end there, but also write the vision down. This is extremely important, ladies and gentlemen. You are going to have to
Manuel, I think we have lost your audio.
Sorry. What I've seen with many of us is that sometimes we copy people. We see somebody who have put up a shop, and in our mind, we think the person is making money. Now, again, you go back to the picture that I gave you earlier on. You go back to this picture. Success is not always what you see. So the fact that somebody has opened a shop, the fact that somebody has set up a business, a restaurant somewhere, and you think the person is making money, therefore you go to the bank and borrow money, or you go and take your investment that you have made somewhere, and start a business of your own in that same category, you may make a mistake. So thankfully, this webinar, this seminar is going on. Today is, I think, the 16th, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 16th. You have 14 more days for the year to run out. My advice to you is that please give yourself at least 2 days for the 14 days that are left. Go somewhere quietly, take a pen and a paper. If you have never done it before, please try it yourself and begin to ask yourself, the next 5 years of my life, where do I want to be? Where do I want my business to be like? Which destination? Remember we said it's a journey. Where do I want to take the business to? Write that vision down and ask yourself certain pertinent questions. When I get to that destination, what are the landmarks that will make me know that I've reached there? For example, if I'm going from here to Imbarara, the moment I reach certain point and I know I'm reaching Imbarara, the first sign I will see that you see a signboard saying, welcome to Imbarara municipality. If I go further, as I'm entering Imbarara city, I'll see Igongo restaurant or Igongo hotel. Now, those are landmarks that give me a clear indication that I am heading towards my destination. The same way in business, what are your landmarks? So the first thing you must do as you prepare for 2022, whether it's for your family, whether it's for your business, whether it's for your own life, whether it's for your career, whether it's for your investment, whether it's for your health, whether it's for your relationship, how would you know that you're making progress? So write it down, number one, and then have that vision and then write it down. Please, a lot of times we tell ourselves, I have it in my mind. It's good to have it in the mind, but they say that the shortest pencil has a longer memory than what is kept in the mind. So write it down. Once you write it down, you can always look at it and think about it. That's why in the book of Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1, the Bible says that write the vision down, make it plain so that he who reads it can run with it. In other words, if you don't write your vision down, if you don't subject it to critical analysis, you can never run with it. Or chances are that when you are running, when you start the implementation, when you start the journey, you make mistakes. So the first thing you must do as you prepare for 2022, ladies and gentlemen, is that have a dream and write the dream down. Have a vision and write the vision down. Like I always tell people, those of you who joined the last seminar I did, there are 7 aspects of your life that you must pay attention to. Number 1 is your family. How do you want your family to look like in 2022? Number 2 is your retirement. If you are 40, you are 50, you are even 25, I want you to know a time is going to come that you are going to hold a walking stick where you would have reached your 70s, your 80s. How do you want to look like? How do you want your life to look like when you get to what I call the broken line stages, where you have to hold a walking stick? So have a dream. Number 3, your career. Number 4, your investments, your spiritual life. And a lot of them, if you go back to the video I shared with you the last time, you can get all these aspects of your human life. So have a dream for all those aspects and then write it down. Number 2, after you have written the dream down, research into it, please, and please, and please. And I know that some of you who are Christians on this platform, thankfully in June, we are going to do a webinar for Christian business people, and we'll come to appreciate that there are some things, it doesn't matter how much you pray. Prayer is not a substitute for planning. I'm going to repeat myself. Please stop disturbing God over the things that you can plan on your own. You go to stand in the kitchen, there is tomatoes, there is cabbage, there is carrot, and then you are praying, God, give me food. That is high stupidity. You don't do that. Don't disturb God. Pardon my language, but that's the only way I can describe it. So you must research into the dream. You must research into the future. Angels will never come and research it for you. Ladies and gentlemen, what you don't know about your business can destroy your business. So even if you want to copy somebody else's business model, find out how did the person get to where he wants to be, where he has gotten to. What you are seeing, it's a result of the lot of things that were done in private, in secret, that you don't know. So the dream that you have written for yourself for 2022, please don't just pray about it, research into it. The Bible says, write the vision down, make it plain. To make something plain simply means subjected to critical analysis. Subjected to critical analysis. So subject your idea to critical analysis. Will this idea work? What are the subjects I teach? How to test your business idea. And maybe I told Ronald the last time, maybe we can try this another time. I teach and I charge a lot of money, but I can do it for you on this platform because of my brother, my friend Chasochichi. Now, test the idea, research into it. Don't just copy people and input your money into it. You will lose the money. So will this idea work? Has it worked before? Who has tested it before? How did they test it? Research into it before you enter January 2022. Listen, gentlemen, if you plan for January 2022, I guarantee you, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December will fit into the plan because you have researched into it. So that's the second point you must do. You can start 2022 strong if you have a dream. Please don't be an emotional entrepreneur. Don't be an emotional business person. Be a real strategist, a real thinker, entrepreneur, and then you research into it. Then you are heading towards a successful future. Number 3, develop a strategy and a working plan for that idea. Please, as you can see, we are making a journey. As I told you, there's a relationship between real life and business. You cannot, number one, start your journey in life without knowing where you are going. If I'm going to Masaka, I need to have Masaka in mind. I need to know how to get there. So I research. How do I get there? Is there a means of transport? Can I go by motorbike? Can I go by aeroplane? Can I go on sitting on a horse? Can I go by whatever it is? You must research into it. What is in Masaka? Am I a business person? What are the business opportunities there? So you research into all those things, and then you must plan for it. Please, if you are a businessman, and I'm not talking about having a 48-page business document. No, I'm not talking about that. In actual fact, those of you who always consult business consultants, come and do business plan for me. You don't need that. You don't need a business consultant to come and write a business plan for you. No, a business plan simply says, this is where am I, this is where I want to get to, this is how I want to get there. Simple. Of course, maybe the writing in terms of the nitty-gritty, that's where you need somebody. But if you cannot describe your vision, you can never plan for it. Let me ask a question here. Let me just pause here and ask a question. And please unmute yourself and answer the question. When is the best time to build a house? When is the best time to build a house? Please unmute yourself and answer the question for me. When is the best time to build a house? Anybody, unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself and when is the best time to build a house?
When I'm
mention your name. Yes.
I think when I'm ready to retire.
When you're ready to retire. Okay.
Yes.
Anybody else? When is the best time to build a house? Somebody says, I didn't get the name well, but the person says, when I'm ready to retire. That's okay. Anybody else? When is the best time to build a house?
Now.
Now. What's your name?
Stephen Masembe.
Okay, so Stephen says, now is the time to build a house. Let me hear another lady's voice. When is the best time to build a house? Please mention your name. When is the best time to build a house? A lady's voice, please. Come on, we don't have time. When is the best time to build a house, please? A lady's voice. Oh, our ladies, when is the best time to build a house? Our ladies, there's no lady? Okay, can I have another gentleman? When is the best time to build a house? One last contribution and then we can proceed. Nobody? We have 26 people online. Nobody else is talking. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, this is Brian Opono.
Yes, Brian.
I think the best time to build a house could be. It depends on your working environment. Because if you're more of a commuter, and if you're busy, if your work is basically on more of travels, then it won't be a best opportunity for you to build a house, because you're not sure when you'll fully settle down. But if your work schedule and your life expectations are within the environment that you're in, then you can set up of building a house, because the house is supposed to be a place of rest and a place of reference after all. But if you're a traveler and a traveler doesn't have a suitable place, so
what's your name again?
Brian Epono.
All right, thank you so much, Brian. Now, listen, gentlemen, I believe that everybody on this platform is a businessman and entrepreneur. Am I right? Everybody is a businessman and entrepreneur. Mr. Host, is everybody a businessman and entrepreneur, please?
Yes, we are.
Fantastic. Now, let me say this. Now, in business, listen,
yes,
gentlemen.
Everybody here is a...
Wonderful, wonderful. Guys, in 2022, as we prepare for 2022, it's going to be vitally important for every entrepreneur to begin to appreciate the value of strategic thinking. Now, if you say you want to build a house when you're going to retire, it's good. Somebody says now is good. Somebody also says depends on whether you're a commuter, whatever, it's good. But guys, how do you build a house when you don't even know what you want? The question is, when you want to build a house, when is the best time to build a house? The answer is when the house is already completed. Think about it. When the house is already completed. When do I begin my journey? When the journey is completed. Why? If I go to an architect and I ask an architect to build me a house, the first question the architect is going to ask me, what kind of house do you want? That means before I start to build a house, I must have finished the type of house I want in my mind. Where do I want the kitchen to be? Where do I want the garage to be? How many bedrooms do I have? Where do I want my study to be? Where do I want the kitchen, my recreational center to be? Where do I want my gym to be? It is when the house is already completed mentally. That is why entrepreneurs are imaginators. Entrepreneurs and business people are people who are idea generators. Listen, gentlemen, if you are going to enter the year 2022, it is critically important and vital for you to have, number one, the dream, plan for it. But the planning can only become visible and potent when you have a complete vision of what you want to do. So your idea must have a solid plan behind it. The house you want to build must be completed with all the intricacies, all the interior designs and everything in your mind and on paper, so that the architect can run with it and give you the image of what you are looking for. That is very, very important. So the third point I want us to bear in mind is that if we are going to become successful and strong in 2022, number one, we must have a dream, we must have a vision. Number two, we must research into it. Then number three, we must have a strategy and a working plan, a day-by-day working plan, a month-by-month working plan. Please don't drive your business without a plan. If you talk about cash flow management, you cannot do cash flow management when you don't have a clear view of your plan. That is why cash flow management comes in. So these are very, very important. Number four, understand that that success is based on the law of sowing and reaping. If you are going to become successful and start strong in 2022, please understand that whatever you are going to sow, today is December, whatever we sowed in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November is what we are seeing. The results is what we are seeing today. Now, December 2022 would also be a function, will be an outcome of the seeds we are going to plant in our businesses, in our lives, all through January up to November. So if we are going to do business and remain strong in 2022, we must understand that the success we are looking for is only going to become an outcome of the seeds we are going to be sowing right from today, right from January, all through to December. What does that mean? If we don't like what we are getting out of 2021 right now, what that means is that we must change what we are going to put into life and into our business so that we can get something good out of it. Because whatever you put in life is what you're going to get out of it. And if you don't do that, you can't change it. So that's the fourth point I want us to have. The fifth point, and as I said, because of time, we are rushing through it, Use your power of imagination. I said earlier on that entrepreneurs are people who are not moved by feelings. Entrepreneurs are people who are moved by their power of imagination. Two people walk through a particular problem. Somebody, I want to give a very practical example. Two people were asked to go to, some years back, to go to a place to go and sell, to go and scout a place. They went there and the people, almost everybody there didn't have a shoe. They were all barefooted, moving up and down on the barefooted, on the floor. Two of them came with different results. Somebody said, oh, no, we can't go there and sell shoes to them because, nobody will buy it. Nobody has money to buy those shoes. That's why they're all barefooted. Another person said, wow, what a great opportunity to sell shoes. The same problem, but they saw it differently. Listen, gentlemen, if we are going to become strong and successful in 2022, the power of imagination is key. Our ability to see things beyond the problems, our ability to imagine the solutions outside of the problems is important. If you saw an artist, a sculptor, by a stone, you wonder what is this sculptor doing by the stone? But what you are seeing as a stone, the sculptor is seeing a bear or a stool in that same rock, in that same stone that you are looking and calling a stone. So rather than looking at the problem, begin to use your power of imagination, ladies and gentlemen, so that you can become successful in 2022. Nobody knows what 2022 is going to bring. Nobody knew in 2020 that COVID was going to come. But those who saw it coming, those who prepared it for it, and those who even when it came, they used their power of imagination, today they are far better than those who did not. Today, many businesses have transited into digital forms because they are using their power of imagination. Listen, gentlemen, 2022, let's prepare for it and let's use our power of imagination. There's a scripture in the Bible that says that whatever a man can imagine, nobody can stop him. And that's a gift that God has given us free of charge. To succeed in 2022 business world will require building the mind of the future. Building the mind of the future. This is very, very important. Please, let's move away from see the problems as problems. Let's see the problems, the solutions in the problems. Let's see the solutions in the problems. And we can only do that when we build the mind of the future. That's why I asked the question, where have you been? Where are you right now? And where do you want to be? So build the mind of the future. Now, to do so, you need three key things. Number one, you need a vision. I've spoken about that. Number two, you need a mission. Vision says, where do I want to be? And mission says, what am I supposed to be doing? And then you need a strategy that says, how am I going to execute what I'm supposed to be doing? So the key to every great future begins with the development of vision, a view of the future, a view of the future. This is key. You need to build a picture of the future. Now, the question we must ask ourselves, therefore, is that what is strategy? And this is the meat part. What is strategy? Strategy is a pattern of decisions that you intentionally or otherwise make that set the long-term direction of the business and determine the fate. As we are going to move into 2022, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things we're going to do is to be deliberate in the things you do. I'm using the word deliberate. Be conscious about the things you do in your expenditure, in your health, in your eating habit, everything you do. Please don't be moved by your emotions. Have a strategy. Deliberately choose a different set of activities for your life and for your business so that you can develop and deliver a unique mix of value for that business. If you can do that, 2022 December, you'll be smiling all the way to the bank. So the question is, what does it mean to be strategic in times of constant disruption? We are living in times of constant disruption. And as we prepare for 2022, like I said, nobody knows what 2022 is going to be like. But what does it mean to be strategic? Number one, to be strategic means to develop both core competencies. And what are the areas you need core competencies in? You must develop systemic thinking. You're going to have to develop systemic thinking skills and the quality decision-making skills, and then how to manage risks. Now, if you look at these three components, which we call core competencies, every entrepreneur must learn how to think systemically. If I do this today, what does it mean? What does it affect what I'm going to do tomorrow? How does my spending 50,000 shillings on breakfast today, how would that affect somebody's thing is unmuted? Please, if you can mute yourself. Unless you want to ask a question. Okay, thank you. So to become strategic means you've got to think systemically. Everything you are doing today would feed into what is going to happen tomorrow. And that affects the quality of decisions that you are going to make. And if you manage the quality of the decisions you are going to make well, then you can manage your risks. The second skill you are going to need to become a strategic thinker is what we call applied competencies, so that you can lead your team and lead your business and your journey strategically. Applied competencies are skills like observational skills, communication skills, intuitive skills, things that make you pick up signals from the environment, from the system easily. Can you observe something that everybody is doing and pick up some solution out of that? Those are what we call applied competencies. And if you can do that, listen, gentlemen, 2022 would come and kneel down at your beck and call. So you need to become strategic. Now, the question is, why do you need to be strategic in 2022? I want to share one or two thoughts and then we can close. Why do I need to become strategic in 2022? Number one, the world has moved on. The world has changed completely by 4 forces. Rapid technological advancement, we all know that now. Number 2, people are now knowledgeable. The customers you are dealing with are very, very knowledgeable. Number 3, people now can start business overnight. The dominance of free enterprise system. Today, with just a simple phone, a simple laptop, a simple smartphone, an idea, and maybe just 100,000 Ugandan shillings, you can start a business. So everybody can start a business. Question is, when you start, can you survive for the next 3 years? Number 4, globalization. This seminar we are doing, anybody, anywhere in the world can become part of it. That is how beautiful globalization has become on your power. Now, because of these 4 forces, you cannot be an entrepreneur and not think strategically. I'm going to repeat myself. Because of these 4 forces, listen, gentlemen, you cannot be an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, and not afford not to think strategically. You cannot be an emotional entrepreneur. You will collapse. I'm going to repeat it. I don't want to be a prophet of doom, but entrepreneurs who are going to make it in 2022 are people who are going to sit down and think before they act. Otherwise, these 4 forces would wipe you out. Before you spend, you're going to have to think. If you are driving a Mercedes Benz and your business is suffering, you are going to have to think that maybe you must sell the car and put the money in your business so that the business can grow, because these 4 forces will collapse the business. So be strategic. Listen, gentlemen. Now, let me give you further details about this. Now, look at this very carefully. Before technological advancement, we lived in what we call the analog era. The analog era, ladies and gentlemen, was the time when almost everything were done linearly. People were thinking linearly. Organizations were hierarchical and bureaucratic. So entrepreneurs can say, this is my business. The entrepreneur can sit somewhere and tell the secretary, bring me 50 million, bring me 1 million. I'm at a restaurant with my friends. The entrepreneur can just dip his hand into his business money and organize a party. Those are what we call analog era. Those days, ladies and gentlemen, all you needed was a vision. Once you have an idea or a vision and you had an objective, if you had that objective and you were able to have a small strategy, you can predict your market size. It was so easy. And as you know, many companies made tons of money in the analog era. I'm afraid today we are living in what we call the digital era. And ladies and gentlemen, if you understand what the digital era means, the digital era means that we are now living in times of disruption, in times of an era of full of surprises. Today, like we said, COVID has wiped off many people's businesses that they didn't expect, because we are living a different era altogether, an era that is described by constant innovation, upgrading, discontinuity, complexity, turbulence, interconnectivity, unpredictability. Listen, gentlemen, today your ability to think strategically and your skills are assets. I'm going to say that again. So don't be an emotional entrepreneur. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to succeed and become strong in 2022, use your mind. Use your mind. And for Christians amongst us, the Bible says that unto him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think. The book of Ephesians. Unto him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think. If you cannot think, you are not acting like God. God is a thinker. Entrepreneurs are thinkers. That is why they were created in the image of God. So as you enter 2022, ladies and gentlemen, stop being emotional entrepreneur and be a thinker. Be a thinker. Be a strategic thinker, a strategist. That is what entrepreneurs who are going to make it in 2022 are going to look like. Now, again, I want to tell Ronald, Mr. Host, if you want us to go into strategic issues, we can do that next year. I'm prepared to help you guys. So we can do strategic matters. How do I think strategically and all of that? This is very, very important. No, the question I want to pose as we end here is this. Now I have a dream. I have a vision. I've written my idea. I've researched into it. I have a plan. And now I'm thinking strategically. The question is, how then do I position my business in 2022 to make it highly competitive? Because remember, if you learn how to swim with the sharks, you never get beaten up. So how do I live in 2022 amidst all the pandemic issues, amidst the high competition, and still make it and remain strong? I'm going to share with you 3 philosophies. Number 1, you need a business strategy. And then you need a business philosophy. Then you're going to need what we call database application technology. These key things, listen, gentlemen, if you don't have them, sit back and as part of your planning and your strategy, be sure you have them. We can go into the details later on. But one of the key things you're going to ask yourself is, for your business strategy, am I looking for short-term value? Or I'm looking at strategic lifetime value from my customers? Now, one of the gentlemen who was speaking earlier on said, if you don't have ethics, if you don't have values, if you don't have things that will make people want to do business with you for a long time, it means that you're going to cheat your customers. Listen, gentlemen, if you begin to cheat your customers now, trust me, you're only looking for short-term value. And you're going to have to spend more money to get more customers every now and then, and your money will go. So the question you must ask yourself, what's my business strategy? Am I going to operate with somebody who is looking at the bigger picture? So I make a shilling today, a shilling tomorrow, and eventually I'll have 1 million customers so that I can make 1 million shilling over a time. Or I want to take this customer and knock him out with a big profit, and then I'm wiped off because customers don't come back to me again. That is a question you must ask yourself. What will be your business strategy? Number 2, what is going to be your business philosophy? Who are going to be your true customers? You must ask yourself. How do you define your customer service, your customer relationship strategy? What values define how you are going to treat your customers? And in the globalization, as globalization is diminishing, and is globalization diminishing impact on your local business customers or giving you a competitive advantage? As because of globalization, everybody is now taking part of the customers and all of that. Is that giving you a competitive advantage because you have a unique customer service proposition, or you are just one of those people who are losing their customers all the time? That will be determined by your business philosophy. Then again, you need a technology application, you need a database application. How are you going to use data? Base the database of your customers to help you meet the needs and differentiate the needs of your customers and differentiate your service from all other competitors. And how is technology going to help you to know the changes your customers need in your business? Ladies and gentlemen, these 3 key pillars are so vital for those of you who want to remain strong in business as far as the year 2022 are concerned. So this is very, very important. Your business strategy, your business philosophy, your technology. The 5th point is convert your setbacks into stepping stones. There will be challenges along the way, whether you like it or not. You're going to have to learn how to convert your setback, your challenges into stepping stones. There's a lady by name Helen Keller. This lady was born and at the age of 7 became dumb and blind, deaf, dumb and blind. And Helen Keller could have committed suicide. But Helen Keller said, even though I'm deaf, even though I'm blind, even though I'm dumb, I still believe there's something inside of me. Listen, gentlemen, a blind lady grew up and at the age of 66, he was given an Oscar award. If you have studied Oscar ceremony, you know how important the Oscar award is. Now, when this lady got the award because of the books he wrote and the songs she composed as dumb, deaf, and blind, he was asked by a journalist, is there anything worse than blindness? Helen Keller looked at, of course, couldn't look at him, but as it was interpreted and he was through the sign language and the feelings and everything, he said, oh yes, a person with sight, but no vision. What a powerful statement. As an entrepreneur, ladies and gentlemen, are you managing your businesses with sight, looking at only the problems, looking at only the challenges, looking at only the losses, or you are looking at it with the power of imagination? As you enter 2022, ladies and gentlemen, stop looking at the challenges and look at the bigger picture of your business. Look at the plan you have set for yourself for 2022 and go for it, ladies and gentlemen, because you belong to the winners. Have that winning strategy and you can overcome everything. Number 6, build a strategic alliance. This one, I don't need to belabor it. Stop walking around without saying hello to people. You need people, listen, gentlemen. So sell your dream and idea to others to mobilize support and resources. You need them. You can't do it all alone. This seminar we are doing, I am on this platform because of my alliance with Mr. Chasochichi and the Ronas and the team at Enterprise Uganda. You need alliances. We live in a time of collaboration and partnership. We don't live in a time of competition any longer. There's no longer things like competition. You may be selling the same product as somebody else. Build partnerships so that the day customers come to that particular shop and he doesn't have them, you say, oh, go to my neighbor, he has it. That's how you build partnerships, ladies and gentlemen. So sell your idea to others so that you can become successful. Number 7, which is my last point. Be persistent in life with a positive attitude. If you're going to become an entrepreneur and a successful one in 2022, please understand that life is going to throw some punches at you. But entrepreneurs are people who see the mountaintop. And even though it's difficult to climb, they keep climbing bit by bit because they know that eventually they will get there. But listen to me, ladies and gentlemen, attitude is a decision you are going to have to make in 2022. You need it. You need to choose to become positive, to remain positive. Challenges will come, but remain positive because that is where you belong. The question is, what is attitude? We talked about attitude. People talk about attitude every now and then. Question is, what is attitude? And I'm going to end by sharing with you a bit about attitude so that we can go. Attitude is everything, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to tell you this. If you're going to win and remain strong in 2022, if there's anything you must guard against, is to protect your attitude. Now, what is attitude? If you went to any seaside, you will see what we call the iceberg. When you see this iceberg, chances are that you think that is a bigger part of the iceberg. But listen, gentlemen, look at this. What we saw earlier on, this one here, let me see if I can get if I can use my, yeah, I think I can get it here. Okay, so let me use the laser, the pen. Okay, what you saw here, this one here, what you are seeing here, okay, you think that is a bigger part of the iceberg. But when you go down to the next page, this is what we saw earlier on. Okay, that's only 10%. Now, what our physical eyes were not seeing is the 90% that was below the sea level. If you look at it again, all this part, if you look at the sea level, this is the sea level. Everything below here, we are not seeing it. Our physical eyes cannot see it. That is what attitude is. This one here is below the sea level. It's 90% of what your eyes is not telling you. Ladies and gentlemen, now, what you are seeing, as I mentioned, is only 10%. The part that is invisible to your side is 90%. And what does that mean? What we see about people is their knowledge and their skills. What we don't see about people is your attitude. Your attitude is hidden inside of you. The challenges you are going to face in life, ladies and gentlemen, can only be controlled, can only be overcome by your attitude. Because why? Your value systems, your standards, your judgments, your motives, your ethics, your belief system that makes you strong is what determines your behavior. How you are going to respond to life, how you are going to respond to the challenges of 2022 how you're going to respond to the punches life is going to throw at you as you embark on the journey into December 2022, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be largely driven by your attitude. Guys, attitude is so important that it's important for us to understand. Now, in everywhere you go, the alphabets we have in life, A, B, C, D, there are 26 alphabets, A to Z. Now, your skills constitute only 82. Skills, if you look at it, S here is 19, as you can see here, 19. So if you add skills, the numbers according to the letters, you get 82. This is 82. Now, your knowledge base gives you only 96. But if you look at your attitude, the only way you can get 100% as a person, as an entrepreneur, is what? Is your attitude. Attitude is the only thing that displays your wholeness for who you are. Listen, gentlemen, so I want to end by saying to you, if we are going to become successful and strong in 2022, we cannot but choose positive attitude, remain positive. It's a decision all of us have to make. So in conclusion, I want to pose these questions as we go. Given all that we have said, given all the opportunities that we have talked about, where do you think you are right now? That is a rhetorical question. You don't have to answer me. Where do you think you are right now? Number two, are you change ready? Are you change ready? Are you ready to take on 2022 and say, hey, 2022, here I come. Throw it at me and I have the attitude to save it. What do you need to become change ready? Ladies and gentlemen, what do you need to become change ready? And finally, the last question you must ask yourself as you enter 2022, prepare to enter 2022, how can you develop skills capable of success in tomorrow's world as an entrepreneur? Ladies and gentlemen, these are the 7 key insights that I wanted to share with you. And I want to end by saying that the future you are looking at, you are looking for. The 2022 business that you are looking for, all the success you want to achieve in 2022, ladies and gentlemen, is not found in anywhere but in your own hands. You cannot, nobody can give it to you. Nobody can you can't take it from anywhere, but that which you are looking for, ladies and gentlemen, is in your hands. But guess what? Your hands has all that it takes to make you a real successful individual. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you so much for the opportunity, the privilege to come your way and share these few thoughts with you. And again, let me apologize for the internet interruptions, but I guess that we're able to cover the sessions. And I think we can pause. Somebody's thing is unmuted. We can pause here and take a few questions so that we can. But as you do that, these are books that are published. I published 14 books. If you go to the website that is there, you can purchase any of these books for yourself. Your talent creates your world. Success is more than luck. You cannot have success because of luck. And then my autobiography is there, In Pursuit of Purpose. The great tales of great achievers is there. The Miracle of the Mind, you can buy it. Secrets of Wealth Creation, Why the Rich Get Richer and the Poor Poorer. Customer Services Attitude, the department. And then how to increase your income as an employee. I also have Strategic Positioning as an entrepreneur. You can buy that one. Then there's those of you who are parents. I wrote a book about 30 years ago titled What I Wish I Knew Before the Age of 20. Any of those books are available on our website, and then you can get there and buy some. So, Abid, over to you. And if there's some questions, take them.
All right. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you very much for that. Especially the thing about intentionality. I realized that changed my life by being more intentional. So we have maybe 10 minutes. We can spare 10 minutes for questions. There's a request from Sarah to asking, is it possible to get a copy of the slides or not?
No, I don't share my slides, but I think it's all recorded, isn't it?
Yes, it was recorded.
Yeah, so you can get it right from, you can get it from Enterprise Uganda's either YouTube or Abid, tell them how they can,
if you go to the Enterprise Uganda YouTube channel, you will get a recording of this session today. So you can just go and check on it. It will be there by the end of the day. I think that answers both Sarah and Brian's questions. Just go to YouTube, search for Enterprise Uganda, subscribe to the channel. We upload all the channels all the recordings for Business Recovery Series, including today. Any other questions that we have? In case you have a question for Emmanuel, you can unmute or you can type in chat.
Please unmute and ask your questions.
All right. Maybe you give people a lot of things to think about. Like the seven items that you have to think about, and they are great for recovery. Having a plan, knowing where you're going.
Yeah.
Emmanuel says unable to unmute.
Oh, somebody's unable to unmute. They can.
Okay,
They can.
You should be able to unmute. Emmanuel, check again. Safari, try again.
All right, thank you, Abid, for presentation. Very passionate as always. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the second time you are sharing with us, Emmanuel, on
Enterprise Uganda.
Yeah, but you have always promised us to share about strategy.
We can't hear you now, Emmanuel.
Safari, we have lost you. With the strategy session, we shall organize
for businesses, matters of how we can strategize this coming year. Thank you.
Yeah. So, I mean, Abid and Ronald is there. They will organize something, and then we can do that. I'm passionate about this thing. So, like I said earlier, Mr. Chichi is my very good friend. You know, so I've told them anytime they call me, even if I have something, I'll cancel it and do it for them. So, Abid, it's over to you. Yeah.
Yes, Safari, we shall organize a session on strategy next year with Emmanuel, and we shall be put a part of the Business Recovery Series. They're going to continue all throughout the
By the way, Abid.
Yes, please.
Abid, my colleague has given me cake. My colleague has given me cake and tea. So I'm having cake and tea.
You're lucky. Yeah, the lady called Martha, who posted earlier, sent me some cookies. So I'm actually eating some cookies also from the cake.
Okay.
House. Dora Egunyu says, thank you very much, Emmanuel. This is a lot to chew on, and thank you for prompting me to start for the process of planning for 2020.
Very good.
All right. Any other comments? If you have something, you can always unmute. We have 4 more minutes. Immaculate says, thank you, Emma. With so much to think about, especially not being an emotional entrepreneur. This is, yes, very key, not to put your emotions in your planning or in your business. Think logically, think through it. Grace says planning for 22 should be done now. Yeah. Emmanuel, continue.
I mean, let me just explain something there. This emotional thing is very, very key. You know, I've seen women who, when a man has proposed to them, he said, I love you. He said, oh, is that right? Thank you. You know, and they just fall in love with their heart, without a mind. You are going to follow a fool. When a man asks you, tell you I love you, say, okay, thank you. Why do you want to love me? But if you say, yes, thank you so much, you are only doing it with your heart. When the reality sets in, then you're going to apply the brains. So love with your heart, but think with your mind. And this applies in entrepreneurship too. I've seen people who have gone into business partnerships with their heart, with emotion, without thinking. It has happened to me before. And then eventually you lose all your money or you lose a lot of. So please don't approach your business from an emotional point of view. Think. I have a professor who taught me, he said, in God we trust, but all other human beings we verify. Let me repeat that. He said, in God we trust, but all other human beings we verify. So think and verify. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. We have time for one more question. Any question? Just one more question. So I'll let brave person to, if they have a question or comment. Wonderful. Well, I'd like to thank you very much, Emmanuel, for this session. This has actually been much better than what we had anticipated and what we had hoped for. Thinking, strategy, emotions, research, plan, attitude, adjust internally. Don't think things are going to happen magically if you have not planned for them. We're also doing, as Enterprise Uganda, we're offering business health checks for people who have been participating in the business recovery series. These are currently free, so please do register with us. We always send out calls for people who want to participate in the recovery series. Currently, we are being available to Kampala and Greater Kampala areas. So please do register, and if you receive an email asking you if you're interested in a business health check, it does a SWOT analysis of your business and give you a report of the things that you have to improve in your business. This is done complimentary for people who are attending the business recovery series. So do look out for those emails and also at our social media pages for these updates. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Thank you very much, Human Capital International, for sparing you today. And thank you, everybody, for attending. Have a happy festive season. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, and all those things. Juma Karim for everybody else. All right, see ya. Have a good weekend.
Thank you very much, too.
All right, see you. See you next year.